nailing SAT geometry can mean the difference between 750 and 800. In this video, we're going over 7 geometry hacks to help you get that perfect math score you're looking for. And up first, we have the -1/2 circle hack. Say that 5 times fast. And basically, if you see a circle equation and it's not in the form that you're used to, but instead it's in this weird expanded form, you can take the -1/2 of your coefficients for x and y to get your center. So straight up, we're gonna have -10, so that's 20 divided by -2, and -8, 16 divided by -2. And our answer, just like that, is choice B. And this basically comes from trying to convert this into the proper form. We would need to complete the square. And when we complete the square, we end up going through a whole bunch of steps that you don't need to go through. But in case you're wondering, that's where this shortcut comes from. I'm not going to go into detail into that right now because I'm just trying to give you guys hacks. Next up, we've got the similar triangle copy. And basically, you should know that similar triangles have the same angles. So you are allowed to obviously copy their angles, but also you're allowed to copy their sine, tangent, and cosine. Because if you think about it, let's just pretend that we have a beautiful 3, 4, 5 triangle, another beautiful 3, 4, 5 triangle, and we have like 3, 4, 5, and 6, 8, 10. Let's pretend that we're looking at the sine of this. So sine would be opposite over hypotenuse. So we would have 4 over 5. If we took the sine of this similar triangle, it would be 8 over 10, which once we simplify becomes 4 over 5. So basically, no matter what happens with scaling, no matter how much bigger or smaller one of the other triangles is, the ratio is the same, and the fraction, once simplified, is going to be the same. So in actuality, we're looking at this triangle that has lengths of 20, 21, and little bonus hack for you, 20, 21, 29 is another Pythagorean triple, but obviously you could just use the Pythagorean theorem to get this 29. And it's asking you tan of A is 21 over 20. So that would mean A is like here, and we have opposite over adjacent. That's TOA, SOHCAHTOA. And then it's asking about sine of D. Well, D does line up with A, so this would be the same angle, but for sine, it's SOH, opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite here is still 21, our hypotenuse is 29, so our answer is 21 over 29. And this one obviously only works if you're familiar with using SOHCAHTOA, so if you don't know that, go learn that first.
I'm loving the hacks so far, but what if I forget them?
Well, you are going to forget them if you don't apply them. So I created a free question set for you guys. Go ahead and use the link in the description to practice what you learn in this video.
Thanks, my dude.
All right, next up, we've got the side scaling hack. And basically, if you're given the side of any sort of polygon, so let's just go with a rectangle, and we say that this is X and there's a similar rectangle that is larger, and we're gonna say that this is 3x. So basically it's saying a given side of this rectangle is 3 times bigger than this other rectangle. And if you're dealing with perimeter, you can take that same scale factor of 3 and apply it. So if I said that the perimeter of the small one here is 10, then the perimeter of this bigger one would just automatically be 30. Very cool and makes sense, right? But the side scaling hack is if you are given area, you are no longer going with that 3 as your scale factor. In order to scale area based off of a side, you need to square your scale factor. So instead, we would multiply 10 times 3 squared, or 9. So our area for this bigger one would be 90. And in case you're wondering, yeah, this goes with 3D shapes as well. If we turn these into rectangular prisms and we were looking at volume, now all of a sudden we wouldn't want to square it, but we would want to cube it. So if our volume here was 10, then our scale factor would be 3 to the third power, which is 27. So our volume for this one would be 270. Anyway, with all that in mind, let's look at this question. And if you want to pause and try it using what I just taught you, go ahead. But here we go. So basically it's telling us that ABC is 4 times bigger than DEF. It is also telling us that ABC is 270. So basically our scale factor is going to be 270 for area. We divide by 4, but since 4 is the side length, it's 4 squared. So yeah, 270 over 4 squared. If we simplify that, it becomes 135 over 8 as our simplified answer. Next up, we've got the equilateral triangle cut. If they tell you you're dealing with an equilateral triangle, you're probably going to want to cut it in half like so, because when you do this, you create a 30, 60, 90 triangle, which, as you should know, is a special right triangle. And this is on the reference sheet, so you don't have to memorize it. But basically with a 30, 60, 90, your shortest side is going to be x, your hypotenuse is going to be 2x, and your other leg is going to be x times the square root of 3. So following this logic, go ahead and pause the video and try this question on your own first. But here we go. So basically, if the perimeter is 20, we know that all of these sides are going to be 20 divided by 5 or 4. Since this is our 2x, that means that the shorter side is going to be 2, and the other leg is going to be 2 times the square root of 3. It's asking about area of the shaded regions. So basically, I just need to take the area of this and multiply it by 4. So I could say 4 times BH divided by 2, B being base, H being height. Base and height here are 2, and 2 times the square root of 3. All of this divided by 2. There's a lot of ways I can cut this, but I'll do it this way. We'll say these 2's cancel out. And now I have 4 times 2 times the square root of 3, or 8 times the square root of 3. So just like that, our answer is going to be choice C. Now, some of you might be thinking, what the heck? There's also this cool little formula for area of an equilateral triangle. So yeah, you could totally use this as well. Basically, it's going to be one of your sides squared times the square root of 3 over 4. So if I were to put this into Desmos, for example, if you remember, all of our sides were 4. So we would have 4, multiply that by the square root of 3 divided by 4. You're also going to remember that there were 2 of these shaded triangles in our little figure, right? So that would get multiplied by 2, and then you would have to compare to your answer choices. So then when we put 8 times the square root of 3, it doesn't match up because I am a noob. Oh, I forgot the squared. That's why. So it does match up. So you could also memorize that if you'd like, but I just like to think of it as cutting it in half and then applying these easy peasy 30, 60, 90 rules. Next up, we've got the sine cosine swap. And basically, it's already telling us this, but in any given right triangle, the sine of one acute angle is going to be equal to the cosine of the other. So if we have the sine opposite over hypotenuse, if you think about it, the cosine of this other angle is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse. So you end up with the same thing. So if this is A and this is B, they both end up being A over B. Again, this one you really need to know SOHCAHTOA to kind of understand what's going on. But this is a rule. This is something you should certainly have memorized. So basically when it tells us here that cosine of Q is equal to R, it's saying these guys could live in a right triangle together. And if we think about it, it also means that these guys have to add up to 90 degrees because we've got our 90-degree angle here. So then these other two, by default, have to also add up to 90 degrees because there's only 180 degrees in a triangle, right? So when it tells us that the degrees are this and this, all we have to do is set this up as an algebra equation, knowing that they add up to 90. So we can pull Desmos up. We'll change x to a so that we can use our squiggly. A plus 61 plus 4a plus 4 is going to be equal or squiggly to 90. And just like that, it'll give us the value of a which we subbed in for x, so our answer is 5. Along with that relationship, you should also probably memorize the tangent flip rule, which is that the tangent of an acute angle is going to be the reciprocal of the tangent of the other acute angle. And again, we can play the same game here. We'll just say we have like, I don't know, A, B, C. And if we take the tangent, that is opposite over adjacent. So this is A over B. And then the tangent of the other acute angle opposite over adjacent is going to be the reciprocal, which is B over A. So memorize this. Just know that you have this reciprocal rule, aka flipping the fraction upside down. So if the tangent of one acute angle is this, the reciprocal is going to be 3 over the square root of 3, or choice D here. So our answer is choice D. And then finally, you've kind of already been seeing me do this, but basically just the Desmos geometry hack. Don't forget that you can still use Desmos for geometry. Basically, you just want to take the information you have, plug it into Desmos using any equation that you either have memorized or have from the cheat sheet. So when it tells us that we're dealing with an isosceles right triangle, we should know right off the bat that an isosceles right triangle is our 45, 45, 90 triangle, right? And the relationship there is going to be x, and x times the square root of 2. It's also telling us the perimeter of this triangle. And we know that the perimeter is side plus side plus side, right? And in this case, of course, the relationship would tell us that the perimeter is x plus x times the square root of 2. So if we throw this into Desmos, we'll change x to a again. So a plus a times the square root of 2. This is supposed to be equal to, according to this, 18 plus 18 root 2. So 18 plus 18 square root of 2. So now it's giving us a value for a, which is cool. But it's asking us about the hypotenuse of the triangle. So remember, the hypotenuse in this case is going to be a root 2. So in another line, we just write a square root of 2, gives us our answer, which is 18. So our answer here is actually choice C. And I guess a little bonus hack for you, don't forget to use your reference sheet if you forgot the rule of a 45, 45, 90 triangle, or you forgot the rule of area of a triangle or anything like that. There's a ton of free formulas just waiting for you, so don't forget about that.
Now, importantly, don't be a nincompoop. Click the link in the description, get the free practice questions, and practice what you just learned. Otherwise, you're going to forget it.